Severe floods, landslides, and mudflows have once again sounded the alarm about the fragility of the environment and infrastructure in Beijing, the capital of China. In recent years, Beijing has faced a series of extreme weather events, revealing the growing risks brought about by rapid urbanization, unpredictable rainfall, and the difficult challenge of balancing city development with preserving natural defenses. These disasters not only disrupt the lives of millions of residents, but also expose the vulnerability of even a modern metropolis when nature strikes with full force. The recent flooding in Beijing has been especially devastating. Torrential rains paralyzed drainage systems, turning streets into rivers, submerging countless vehicles, and leaving many neighborhoods without power. Major roads became raging waterways, posing hazards for both drivers and pedestrians. In low-lying districts, thousands of families saw torrents of water rushing into their homes, destroying furniture, appliances, and personal belongings. Rescue forces responded immediately, yet the sheer scale of the floods showed that fully protecting such a massive city is nearly impossible when weather spirals out of control.
桥都要垮了，我靠！看到那边已经烂成这个样子。
Landslides added another layer of destruction, particularly in the mountainous outskirts of the capital. Water-saturated slopes gave way suddenly, bringing millions of tons of soil and rock crashing down. Roads were buried, houses destroyed, and access to many villages completely cut off. Rescue work was severely hampered as the rain continued and unstable terrain threatened further collapses at any moment. Engineers and soldiers worked around the clock, clearing debris and reinforcing slopes to prevent additional disasters. At the same time, mudflows surged down valleys and construction zones, carrying massive amounts of earth, rock, and water. These thick torrents engulfed vehicles, flooded basements, and left behind layers of heavy sludge, complicating cleanup efforts. In areas where construction projects had disrupted natural drainage, the destructive force of the mudflows was even greater, showing the long-term consequences of uncontrolled development. The human and material toll is immense. Thousands of families have lost their homes. Schools and businesses have been forced to shut down. Critical infrastructure has been severely damaged. Beyond visible destruction, there are deep psychological wounds, the haunting fear that such disasters could return at any moment. Many residents lost everything they had worked for their entire lives, while some communities may never fully recover. The financial cost is staggering. Billions of yuan are being spent on emergency response, relief, and reconstruction. Authorities have mobilized large-scale operations, rescue teams, the military, and volunteers working side by side to evacuate residents, provide shelter, and deliver food and medicine. Engineers are urgently inspecting bridges, drainage systems, and dams to prevent further collapse. Officials stress the need for long-term planning, upgrading flood defenses, expanding drainage capacity, and enforcing stricter building codes in high-risk areas. Environmental experts warn that these disasters are not isolated incidents, but part of a broader trend tied to climate change and human activity. Rapid urban expansion has destroyed forests, wetlands, and natural lowlands, once vital barriers that absorbed rainfall. Replaced by concrete and asphalt, the city now faces a recipe for disaster: extreme storms, destructive floods, and collapsing slopes. Experts recommend restoring green spaces, protecting riverbanks, and adopting more sustainable construction practices to reduce risks in the years to come.
我操，这个车都冲走了，你看，我的个天哪！
Yet amid destruction, the courage and compassion of Beijing's people shine through. Volunteers risk their lives to save neighbors trapped in floodwaters. Medical workers labored tirelessly to treat the injured. Communities opened schools and cultural centers as shelters, offering hot meals, warmth, and hope. These acts of bravery and solidarity show that even in the darkest times, unity and humanity light the path forward. Beijing has been wounded, but it has not fallen. Its people are writing a new chapter of resilience, compassion, and determination. This disaster reminds us that only with preparation, awareness, and solidarity can humanity withstand nature's fiercest challenges. Thank you for following this report. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, awareness is the first step toward building resilience against future disasters. New York City, USA, July 31st, 2025. A state of emergency was declared Thursday afternoon as powerful storms brought relentless rain and widespread flash flooding across New York City and the greater tri-state area, causing chaos on roads, railways, and airports during peak travel hours. According to city officials, several major roadways across New York were forced to close after being submerged under rising floodwaters just as the evening rush hour began. The Long Island Railroad, LIRR, was forced to suspend operations on one of its busiest lines due to tracks being completely flooded, stranding hundreds of commuters. Widespread storms swept through the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, unleashing heavy downpours that overwhelmed storm drains and swamped streets, subway stations, and highways across the region. On the Clearview Expressway in Queens, drivers were forced to abandon their cars, with some climbing onto the roofs of their vehicles as water levels rose dangerously high. One tractor-trailer was reported to be nearly fully submerged. Authorities confirmed that traffic on the Throgs Neck Bridge was severely impacted as floodwaters blocked lanes. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority, MTA, reported significant delays and service changes across the A, B, C, D, E, and F subway lines. Adding to the chaos, a power outage at a major Manhattan subway station caused additional train delays, leaving thousands of passengers stranded during the storm. Meanwhile, New Jersey Transit suspended service in both directions on the Gladstone branch between Gladstone and Bernardsville. Above ground, major highways were left underwater. The Clearview Expressway in Queens turned into a river, trapping a semi-truck and several cars. Videos shared on social media showed vehicles almost completely submerged, including SUVs stuck under overpasses and pickup trucks attempting to navigate murky waters over 3 feet deep. The FDNY and NYPD Emergency Services Unit responded to multiple reports of occupants trapped inside stalled vehicles near Northern Boulevard. Thankfully, all individuals managed to escape unharmed, though it was unclear whether they were rescued or got out on their own.
Through. Dear God,
Okay,
please.
just go slow. Just go slow.
Dear God, please.
Just go
let me
slow.
Make it through.
Just go
Dear
slow.
God, please, please, please. Dear God, please let me make it through.
Go
Dear
slow.
God, please let me make it through.
Go slow. Go slow. Go slow.
Dear God, please. Dear God, please let me make it through.
One MTA bus in Brooklyn was reported to have floodwater pouring through its center aisle, soaking passengers' feet. Other major expressways, including the Long Island Expressway, Cross Island Parkway, and Staten Island Expressway, were forced to close. In New Jersey, several counties were placed under tornado warnings as the storm intensified. Air travel was thrown into chaos, with hundreds of weather-related delays and cancellations reported. Flights at major airports, including LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, Philadelphia International, Baltimore Washington International, Ronald Reagan Washington National, and Washington Dulles, were delayed by up to 3 hours. According to FlightAware, Southwest Airlines faced the heaviest disruption, with nearly half its flights delayed nationwide. By late afternoon, FloodNet NYC, a real-time mapping tool operated by city agencies and researchers, reported extreme flooding depths. The highest measurement reached 20.3 inches on Staten Island at Catherine Court and Jewett Avenue around 3 p.m. In Brooklyn, water levels peaked at 9.3 inches near Ditmas Avenue and Westminster Road, and over 8 inches in the Wingate neighborhood. Baltimore also took preventive measures as storms approached, closing flood-prone streets, opening free parking for residents as in low-lying areas, and distributing sandbags. Despite fears of severe flooding, the city escaped major damage, though nearby Harford County required water rescues after a vehicle became partially submerged on a highway. Meteorologists explained that a cold front moving across the region clashed with unusually warm, humid, and unstable air, creating conditions ripe for heavy rainfall. The Weather Prediction Center issued a Level 3 out of 4 risk for excessive rainfall across Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York City through Friday. Rainfall rates reached up to 1.5 inches per hour in parts of Pennsylvania, southern New England, and the Poconos, while areas from northern New Jersey to northern Virginia experienced rainfall up to 3 inches per hour. Some locations were forecasted to receive over 5 inches of rain in total, raising the risk of flash floods and prolonged disruptions in major urban areas. Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams urged residents to stay home and avoid flooded streets and subway stations as emergency crews worked around the clock to manage the crisis. The city remains under a flood watch until Friday morning as more rain is expected overnight.
Weather doesn't send us warnings, but we can. Floods, earthquake, wildfires and storms are striking harder and faster than ever before. By subscribing, you are not just watching, you are joining a movement to stay alert, stay informed, and helps others to do the same. Hit the subscribe now because the next disaster won't wait, and neither should you. Be ready and be aware.